Hey everybody, lots of big and mostly bad updates coming from Peloton today. From cuts to almost 800 jobs, an increase in prices, closing of their stores, and moving to outsource almost all of their equipment deliveries and most of their customer service to outside companies. My name is Colin Jenkins, and this is Connect the Watts, where we cover connected fitness news and reviews. So make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the latest. Okay, so Peloton disclosed all of this information today in a memo to its employees. So let's first discuss the job cuts. In its third set of announced layoffs this year, Peloton is letting go of just over 780 employees, mostly within its distribution and customer service teams. This means that Peloton is shuttering its 16 warehouses in North America and countless Peloton delivery vehicles. Instead, Peloton is now going to rely 100% on third-party support for its delivery and most of its customer service. Now, as far as customer service, Peloton is going to be cutting about half of its customer support team and will move to use third-party firms to handle support requests as needed. Barry McCarthy, Peloton's current CEO, in the memo says that, quote, "These expanded partnerships mean that we can ensure we have the ability to scale up and scale down as volume fluctuates while still continuing to provide the level of service our members have come to expect." End quote. More thoughts on that in a bit. Now, on top of all this, not included in the 780 job layoff report is Peloton's new plan to aggressively reduce the number of currently 86 retail stores beginning in 2023. Now, the total number of stores that will be closing has not been announced. Now, in addition to these layoffs, Peloton is also increasing the price of the Peloton Bike Plus and the Peloton Tread. The cost of the Bike Plus has been raised $500 back to $2,495, and the Peloton's Tread price has been increased $800 to a total price of $3,495. Let me know in comments what you think about these price increases, especially those of you with the Tread. I'm curious to know if you think the $800 price increase is justified here. Now, obviously, this is bad news all around, except for those owning Peloton stock, as it has actually jumped up 14% so far today, with hopes that these drastic moves will help Peloton move into a more profitable and sustainable position. Okay, so let's talk about all of this. First, always sad news to hear about job cuts, and always hope the best to those who are directly impacted. This third round of job cuts increases the total cuts made this year from Peloton to well over 4,000 jobs and over 50% of the company. Now, how will this affect us as customers? Well, in terms of deliveries, it may increase the chance of having a poor delivery or getting your bike or tread delivered in poor shape. Reports of how badly XPO has handled Peloton deliveries are very common. In fact, I get emails all the time of people showing me how bad their bikes or treadmills are when they were delivered. And look, it can be pretty bad. And I think this more has to do with the XPO office it's coming from, as some areas seem much more likely to get worse deliveries than others. And I know that the XPO guys that deliver to my area all around have been very solid, so I think it's still going to be fine for most, but there's always just that chance of having a poor one. In that situation, when it happens, usually is very frustrating. And what's probably more impactful is really the decrease in customer service support, because Peloton has already been pretty well known not to have the greatest customer support when it comes to fixing issues with their bikes. Again, some people who have had a bad bike delivered, I've seen take months upon months to even get it resolved. The fact that the customer service is actually going to now be worse instead of better, well, that's just not the greatest of news. Now, as far as price increases, I have never seen a fitness or a tech company change their prices as much as Peloton has. This is like their fourth or fifth price change in less than 1 year, which really gives me a sense that their forecasts and plans really aren't going the way they thought. But anyways, the $500 price increase to the Peloton Bike Plus, not the greatest when they just lowered it by $500 like 4 months ago. And also, even though I like the Peloton Bike Plus a lot more than the original, it makes it a hard sell when the original Peloton bikes are now back to $1,000 less. The bigger news, though, in my opinion, is the fact that Peloton is going to be raising the price of the Peloton Tread $800 up to around $3,500. Now, look, I have the Peloton Tread and I like the Peloton Tread a lot. I think it's a great mid-tier treadmill with a very nice design, but it's still a mid-tier belt treadmill, and charging $3,500 for it puts it in line with much more premium home fitness treadmills out there. In fact, the Renfo treadmill, which I reviewed, and I'll put a link to the article in the video description below. I never actually made a video on that review, I just wrote the article, but that treadmill costs like $900 total, and it's not that much worse than the Peloton Tread, besides the fact that you need to have your own tablet. So it just sort of blows my mind that Peloton is going to be trying to charge this amount for what again is a mid-tier belt treadmill with an integrated connected fitness touchscreen. And this also makes me wonder how much the Peloton Tread Plus will cost when that gets eventually re-released, because it looks at this rate it'll be close to $6,000, assuming that it is re-released in the future. And with the upcoming rower to be released soon, this pretty much ends my hope that that would be under $2,000. I don't think, if this is the route that Peloton is going, that a Peloton rower under $2,500 is very likely, even with competitors like Hydro putting out their new lower cost rower for under $1,500 recently. If you haven't checked out my review on the new Hydro Wave, make sure to check that out here. Appreciate you being here as always. Again, this is Colin with Connect the Watts, and I'll see you next time.